Welcome back. The Chimpanzee Sanctuary Fund at the New Mexico Foundation is proud to announce that a grant totaling $150,000 will now go towards the Chimp Haven Incorporated. That's a national nonprofit sanctuary for chimpanzees who are retired from medical research. The award will support the 76 New Mexico chimps that are now retired and residing at Chimp Haven. I spoke with Laura Bonar. She's the Chief Program and Policy Officer at Animal Protection of New Mexico to find out more. Laura Bonar is joining us this morning. She is the Chief Program and Policy Officer with Animal Protection of New Mexico. Laura, great to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Definitely. So right now, a lot of things that we're talking about, again, the New Mexico Foundation Chimpanzee Sanctuary, the Fund Awards. Going back a little bit here, let's talk about what the chimpanzees were used for before they were retired.
Yes, so you might know that New Mexico has a pretty long, interesting history with using chimpanzees in invasive research. Dozens of chimpanzees, baby chimpanzees, were captured from the wild, from their families, taken away, and brought to Holloman Air Force Base in southern New Mexico in the 1950s for testing prior to manned space flight. After that, the United States Air Force, when they were done using the chimps for various tests involving crash tests and testing for conditions anticipated for space travel, the chimpanzees were leased and sold to a variety of laboratories, and they were used for things like insecticide testing, street drug testing. There was a big boom actually in the 1980s in terms of a toxicologist moving to New Mexico, seeking to purchase chimpanzees from all over the country and also breeding chimpanzees with government dollars in hopes that they would be useful for HIV research. That turned out to not be the case, but at one point New Mexico had the largest captive colony of chimpanzees in the world, over 600 chimpanzees there in southern New Mexico. Most of those chimpanzees now are either living in sanctuary care, much better housing, or they've passed away. But there are still 37 chimpanzees, to the best of our knowledge, who are still held on Holloman Air Force Base at a facility called the Alamogordo Primate Facility. So there's no more invasive testing on any chimpanzees across the entire United States. For the individuals who are the survivors, you know, these are individuals who are sometimes 30, 40, 50 years old, and we're trying to make sure they get into better quality of life at the end of their lives.
Yeah, exactly. And right now with this sanctuary fund, let's talk about how this $150,000 grant is going to be helping out.
Yes, so several years ago, we worked with partners to establish this chimpanzee sanctuary fund at the New Mexico Foundation, and that fund has made a number of grants to sanctuaries, primarily to support Chimp Haven, which is the National Chimpanzee Sanctuary. It was established after the federal government passed this law called the Chimp Act, that allows chimpanzees who are owned by the government or supported by the government to get out of labs and to get into sanctuary care, which is much better for the chimpanzees and is also a significant taxpayer savings. Instead of whereas at the lab facilities, taxpayers bear 100% of the costs. When the chimpanzees are in sanctuary, the private sector has to come up with at least 25% of the care costs for these chimpanzees. So our Chimpanzee Sanctuary Fund was established to make sure that money wasn't a barrier to helping these chimpanzees, you know, who have endured so much to get to experience that better quality of life. So there's 76 chimpanzees from New Mexico who are currently residing at Chimp Haven. It's located in Northwest Louisiana. It's a 200-acre plus facility. Expert care, you know, the chimpanzees get to live in large social groups, get access to forested habitats. It's really an awesome place, and that $150,000 grant will help those 76 chimpanzees continue to experience that high quality of life as they're living at Chimp Haven.
And still 37 to be moved from Alamogordo there, correct?
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Yes, you know, the National Institutes of Health made a determination last year that that those chimpanzees should not get that chance to go to sanctuary. It's really a decision that was based on really looking at a very narrow window, didn't look at the whole aspect of what's best for the chimps' welfare, or frankly, what's best for taxpayers. So we're pushing, many individuals and elected leaders, across the country are pushing to get those chimpanzees out of that facility on Holloman Air Force Base. Really makes no sense for chimpanzees to be housed on Holloman Air Force Base, and get them to, whether they have months or many years left to live, to give them that chance at Chimp Haven.
Yeah. Real quick here, Laura, where can we find more information about all this?
People can visit our website, Chimps to Sanctuary, all spelled out, chimps2sanctuary.org. And there's a take action opportunity. And if people would like to be a part of this effort to help move the chimpanzees, help them, give them that chance at being a chimp instead of a lab subject at the end of their lives, people can be a part of that by visiting chimps2sanctuary.org.
Laura, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.